The reason that it is a myth that looks have anything to do with female attraction is purely by the fact that I was an international male model. By their definition, I should have got mountains of puss. No, that was not my life, I can assure you. I got some puss, but until I figured out what dynamics of attraction were, I didn't.
So he says he was a male model in Hong Kong, and he only got some puss because he didn't have good game.
I knew, on the other hand, a couple of fat dudes, they got heaps. With attractive women as well.
But he knows some super fat guys, meaning he personally knew more than one obese man when he was living in Hong Kong that got laid way more than he did. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of those guys that smashed like 10 different girls in 1 year, but he just doesn't consider that to be a lot. And who knows whether or not these supposed fat guys he knows that were successful with women, who knows if that's even true? And are these guys rich or something? For all we know, he could be talking about the CEO of the modeling agency he worked for. But I think what's more likely is that this is just a bunch of BS.
The reason for that is because women are attracted to character traits. They are not attracted to looks. They're not as superficial as men are.
This is just not true. It's not true at all. And the reason I think so many people think that this is true is because women themselves actually believe it. But that's because of the halo effect. People tend to ascribe positive character traits to good-looking people, and they ascribe negative character traits to ugly people. And of course, there's also just the halo effect, but like the female-specific halo effect, which is where people just tend to believe women, and people just tend to think the best of women in general, which is probably why women don't get punished as severely when they get convicted of crimes. And it's also why major social media platforms like YouTube treat women with kid gloves. Like, if a female creator reports someone for harassment, YouTube takes that very seriously. And I don't think the reverse case is the same. Just look at how Pokimane complained about harassments and got Leafy Is Here banned, but Jack Films, or whatever his name is, he had his actual house doxxed by girl boss YouTuber SS Sniper Wolf, and she basically didn't receive any repercussions at all. But that's beside the point. Women absolutely do care about looks. I don't know why that's so hard for some people to understand.
80% of people are undateable. And the reason they are undateable is because they don't work on themselves. They don't figure out what an attractive personality is. But I'll first point, abundance. If you have this abundance mindset of, I've got enough going on in my life that I can give over to someone else.
Okay, there it is. Color me surprised. If you want to attract women and get laid, all you gotta do is adopt an abundance mindset. It's that simple. It's so frustrating seeing idiots like this guy parrot the same red pill advice over and over again. Like, this isn't even difficult. Even someone with Down syndrome can think through this logically enough to reach the right conclusion. And I'm not even exaggerating with that. I'm being 100% serious. Obviously, the abundance mindset, it's not just a mindset you can switch on and off. You can't fake it either. You get the abundance mindset from, wait for it, having an abundance of options. You can't just adopt that mindset. And it isn't even the abundance mindset that attracts women. I mean, it probably is attractive to women, but women would be attracted to those men anyway. Because if someone has an abundance mindset, that means they had to have been actually living an abundant lifestyle, meaning they already had tons of women attracted to them. So those men with the abundance mindset, they were already attractive to women in the first place. So just quote unquote adopting the abundance mindset, that's meaningless. That advice truly does not even mean anything. It makes zero sense. You either live with an abundance of options or you don't. It's not a matter of mindset or will. It's not something you can just change. He's not even giving advice here. He's just describing the life of a Chad. I guess because he's living that life, he just can't comprehend the actual reasons, like what it actually is about him that makes him attractive to women. So he ends up believing some completely ridiculous things like, oh, it must be my abundance mentality. Yeah, that's it. That's why women always throw themselves at me. It has nothing to do with my looks, it's just because I have the abundance mindset.
You should be focusing on, in every interaction, two things, I think. You should be focusing on, one, trying to think about what you like about that person, because instantly, just by the sub-communication of that, the other person is going to think about why they like you. And then the second thing is you should be thinking about, what is the vibe of this situation?
Okay, so what he's saying here, it's kind of like the law of attraction, but for relationships. Like, oh, if you just think about why you like a girl, then she'll naturally be thinking about why she likes you. Like, you're gonna trick a woman into being attracted to you just by thinking about how juicy her tits are. You know, practically, if I follow this advice, I'm gonna be sitting there talking to a woman, just focusing all my energy thinking about her tits, or, I guess I can be more charitable than that. Let's say I'm sitting there talking to a woman and I'm focusing on how much I like her adorable personality or whatever. In what way is that going to make her like me back? Like, I don't even think the general idea behind this is wrong. Like, I agree that people can pick up on little subtle cues and stuff, and you can kind of pick up on a person's vibe in that way. So let's just imagine I'm sitting there having a conversation with Becky, and mentally I'm focused on all the reasons I like her so much and all the reasons I want to get with her. And let's say she's picking up on that vibe. I'm sub 5. I'm bald. I'm ugly. This woman is not going to suddenly think, oh, he likes me. Now I like him too. That makes no sense. If anything, if she does pick up on my vibe, she's going to be creeped out. I'm sub 5. I don't have the halo effect. It's the opposite for me. She's going to think I'm a creep. For this guy, this kind of thing might make sense. It probably doesn't, but let's just say it does. Even if this works for him, it's because he's good looking. He has the halo effect. Us sub 5 guys, we don't have the halo effect. Or we do, kind of, but it's the halo effect in reverse. An attractive woman picking up on the vibe that I like her, she's just going to think I'm a creep. And she's going to be disgusted. This is truly some of the worst advice I've ever heard. Truly moronic.
That is the most important skill to master. Vibe. What is the vibe of the situation? Do you feel good as a result of talking to this person, or do you not feel good as a result of talking to this person? How can you make the other person feel good? Those are the ways that you unlock the snatch box.
The way to have success with women is just to be in touch with your vibe. You know, just know if you feel good talking to someone or feel bad. This is just so retarded, it's hard to even put it into words, but it's just so ridiculous. For one thing, it's hard to even tell what he's trying to say here, but that's probably because he's never actually had to think about dating and relationships in his entire life. It just comes naturally to him. And imagine trying to use this vibe advice as a sub 5 man. The halo effect is well documented. It's not even a fringe thing. Even the biggest normies accept the concept of the halo effect. If you're good looking, people treat you better. And if you're not good looking, people treat you poorly. That's a known thing. This is literally a widely accepted scientific concept. So the whole vibe thing, what it boils down to, if you're a sub 5 ugly man, you're never going to just feel good talking to any woman because she thinks you're ugly, and mentally she associates your looks with negative personality traits and everything. So even if women are working 100% off a vibe and that's all they care about is personality, if anything, that makes things even worse for ugly men because people associate your looks with your personality.
If you want to get a girlfriend, or if you just want to play the field, that's cool, man. The way that you have to get into that mode is purely by focusing on it. What most people don't know is that you yourself can determine how you feel by forcing myself to write down what I'm happy about. As soon as I start feeling myself being shitty, I do that. And then also just by smiling. Just by smiling, you are going to be happier.
This is more or less the classic normie just be confident advice, although he is kind of going in an extra retarded direction. Like, he's putting a bit of a law of attraction spin to the whole just be confident thing. Seriously, it's so frustrating. Because just the idea of, just smile more and you'll be happier and then women will see that and you'll get laid more, duh. Like, it's so frustrating to hear this kind of advice, especially from a male model. This guy is actually a male model, and he's so blind to the struggles of the sub 5 man, or even the struggles of the average man, that he thinks the reason he attracts women is because he practices self affirmations and smiles a lot, and that makes women attracted to him because it makes him fun to be around, or something like that. I think that's pretty much what he's trying to say. Like, you absolute moron. The reason women are attracted to you is because of your face. He even admitted at the start of his video that he got laid multiple times just by the virtue of his looks. So I don't know what gives him the confidence to think any of his mumbo jumbo, just bro advice is actually practical for the men out there that are struggling. Actually, I do know what gives him the confidence to think his advice is valuable. It's because he's gone through his whole life with this massive halo effect, so everybody he's ever met always responds positively to anything he says, no matter how retarded it is. So now he thinks he actually knows things, but he's completely retarded. You know, a lot of good-looking guys, they're not necessarily stupid. Like, they might actually be intelligent. But this guy is at a level of good looks where it's pretty much impossible for him to ever actually receive any real feedback on anything he ever says or does, because everyone is always going to react positively to him. Everyone's always going to be a yes man to him. He's living life with the halo effect at maximum level. Halo effect level 99. Maxed out. It's impossible for him to ever know what's real and what is fake. His advice is useless.
I have seen ugly people with hot chicks. End of story. It is because those ugly dudes are fun to hang around.
Look, I think there are ugly dudes out there that have decent success with women, but that is all despite their looks. And in the vast majority of cases, there is some reasonable explanation for why a particular attractive woman gets with a particular unattractive guy. It might be because they got together at an early age and they're both from a small town, or it might have to do with that man's status, like if an ugly man is rich and powerful, he's rich and powerful, and he can probably do all right with women. There is a certain level of ugliness where it truly is over no matter how rich and powerful you are, but a typical sub 5 man, he could probably do all right with women if he was wealthy and low inhibition. But also, you gotta think, this guy is living life with the halo effect maxed out. He was a male model in Hong Kong, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of his friends are also male models. So just think about that. When this guy right here talks about some ugly men he personally knows, those guys might not even be sub 5. What he considers to be an ugly man might just be an average looking man. So yeah, essentially all his advice boils down to just be confident and happy and be fun to be around and you'll be able to attract women. So it's basically the typical blue pill normie advice we've all heard 1,000 times before. And I don't even need to say this, but even if all that was true, even if it was true that women will be attracted to a sub 5 man if he's just fun to be around, if you aren't naturally charismatic and funny and fun to be around, you can't just snap your fingers and become all those things overnight. And no amount of writing down affirmations in your journal or smiling in the mirror is going to do it for you either. Things like charisma, it's mostly genetic because it's really just a matter of inhibition. If you're high inhibition like myself and lots of other men in the sub 5 position, there's nothing you could do to miraculously start being fun to be around. It's just not possible. And even if you are naturally low inhibition, if you've lived your whole life as a sub 5 man, the way you get treated by people due to the reverse halo effect, that shit crushes you. That's what controls a person's confidence. That's what controls a person's vibe and how fun they are to be around. You can't just do some affirmations and smile in the mirror to change that.